The world is full of unique people who have different characteristics and natures. Their nature is generally described with two words, extrovert and introvert. But people's different personalities can be better distinguished by their habits, likes, and dislikes. One of these personality types is INFJ. INFJs are warm, loving individuals who are acutely aware of other people's needs. Many people believe they were put on this planet to help others and make the world a better place. Nelson Mandela, Robert Burns, Nicole Kidman, and Martin Luther King Jr. are all prominent examples of INFJs. These examples represent a small proportion of INFJs, as many INFJs are unhealthy. Let's look at the signs of these unhealthy INFJs and how they behave around us. Make sure to watch until number 10, because it's one of the most amazing signs of an unhealthy INFJ we've ever seen. Number 1. Self-proclaimed genius. As the title suggests, the unhealthy INFJs think of themselves as superior to everyone else. They believe that they are more valuable than other people because of their differences and better opinions. They regard other people as close-minded, thinking people as chilly and perceive them as slackers. They don't pay attention to what they're thinking. They don't even have the slightest idea that they are in an unhealthy state. They use one-dimensional adjectives or labels to describe others. Whereas INFJs who are in good health can understand the differences in others and admire their own and other people's qualities. Number 2. Perfection. The self-esteem of an unhealthy INFJ is inextricably linked to how well they accomplish any given endeavor. They convince themselves that if they perform flawlessly, no one will be able to criticize them. If they don't think they can do something perfectly, they won't do it at all. And they'd prefer not to put it into words if there's a danger someone may critique or dispute their beliefs. For example, they will read a message 3 times before sending it to ensure that there are no errors and that the tone is appropriate. They also avoid attempting new things out of fear of failure. Number 3. Putting others ahead of themselves. INFJs, whether healthy or unhealthy, yearn for harmony in their surroundings. They like meeting people's needs and ensuring the happiness of those around them. The INFJs have an admirable attribute of being generous and joyful with the people in their lives. However, dysfunctional INFJs consistently prioritize other people's demands over their own, leading to exhaustion, dissatisfaction, and disconnection from their sense of self. INFJs who are unhealthy don't regard their own needs as important. It's difficult for them to unwind. INFJs that are unhealthy don't know when to say no, and as a result, they are resentful of the individuals they are assisting. They keep a mental tally of everything they've done for others and compare it to how little they get in return. Number 4. Letting others affect them. INFJs are hyper-aware of the feelings of those around them. They feel the same way when they know someone who is upset, furious, or depressed. Unfortunately, with this level of empathy, it's difficult to distinguish between their own sentiments and those of the people around them. If someone else in the room is frustrated, you can be sure that INFJs will be as well. And it is very hard to tune out someone who is furious or sad in the room, no matter how hard they try. And there's a good chance they won't be able to let it go. Number 5. Feeling responsible for others. Boundaries are necessary for everyone, and healthy INFJs understand this. Unhealthy INFJs, on the other hand, have grown accustomed to allowing others to take advantage of their drive to please. There are either shaky or non-existent boundaries. Because they regularly put the needs of others ahead of their own, they have a hard time saying no or standing up for themselves. This eventually leads to resentment and exhaustion, and they become a martyr to the feelings of others they care about. They want to do everything they can to improve the situation, but they will be depressed if they can't. Then someone has to remind them that they cannot make others happy or sad. Everyone is responsible for their own feelings. You're far too willing to take responsibility for someone else's suffering, partly because you sympathize so easily and want the suffering to end. Enjoying the video so far? Then don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful psychology videos like this one. You'll only get smarter, and it's free. Number 6. They let others take over. INFJs have a natural ability to observe. They enjoy taking a step back and studying and reflecting. They're also quite laid back in groups, and they're usually content to let others have their way. These traits, though, may cause people to become passive. INFJs who are unhealthy allow others to determine their decisions for them. They believe they won't be able to make a bad decision this way. These INFJs may feel powerless in the face of their situations. Number 7. Not looking at the problems. The INFJ door slam can be a healthy protective strategy against toxic connections, and it is sometimes essential. On the other hand, unhealthy INFJs slam the door without even addressing the underlying problem. The door slam becomes the primary and principal means of dealing with any problems that develop in their relationships. INFJs who are unhealthy either avoid conflict or demand that others make up for the problems as soon as possible. This is due to the fact that INFJs absorb the sentiments of those around them, so if there is anger or frustration in the surroundings, they will feel anxious or annoyed themselves. Number 8. Hating new ideas. INFJs who are unhealthy are very attached to their subjective viewpoint and can be rather adamant about it. Rather than engaging in a fair conversation in which both views are heard, they tend to establish their position and adhere to it. This prevents their opponent from presenting their case. The healthy INFJ enjoys hearing different viewpoints, but the unhealthy INFJ sees them as a threat. When someone expresses an idea or belief that contradicts their own, they are more likely to feel personally attacked. They instinctively close off to shield themselves from what causes them grief. These individuals are frequently viewed as misunderstood outcasts whose opinions are dismissed by others. When you're arguing with an unhealthy INFJ about a topic based on what you've learned, it's easy to feel like you're talking to a brick wall. Despite their disagreements and obstinacy in dealing with the world, they regard themselves as smarter and as more enlightened than others. Number 9. Privacy. INFJs are slow to open up to others. They naturally recharge by spending time alone as introverts. However, some INFJs go too far and isolate themselves completely from others. When INFJs refuse to reveal themselves to anyone, even their closest friends or family members, this can become a problem. The fear of being judged makes them hide their genuine thoughts and feelings with others. They may get lonely and unhappy as a result of their isolation. To be at their best, INFJs, like any other personality type, require solid relationships. For INFJs, finding a balance between alone time and outside activities is crucial. Getting feedback from people close to them and participating in new activities encourages them and provides them with fresh avenues to pursue their goals. Number 10. Taking things personally. It usually feels like a personal attack when someone disagrees with you. Each quarrel or correction is enough to knock you off your feet and make you loathe the other person. This makes it harder for others to assist you in correcting your thinking. The same thing happens with unhealthy INFJs, but the feelings are tenfold. INFJs tend to keep their sentiments to themselves and may have a deep hate for you, but they don't show it, so they lean into their introverted thinking function and hide their emotional side. There must, however, be a balance. INFJs shouldn't spend their lives based on their emotions. Healthy INFJs know that they are emotional beings who may live their best lives when they pay attention to their feelings and use them as a source of information when making decisions, rather than taking things to their heart. And if you like this video, then check out these related videos to see more, and make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment.